we're back. We had a quick break, but this is Smart Girl Dumb World, and I am Star Rock, and I got my co-host Malaika Jules. We're back.
We are back, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. The last upload, it kept just not happening. Like it was so weird. I felt like sometimes maybe it was my dyslexia taking over. I would be like, where did the upload button go? Like it was a strange. I don't know what happened to my brain. Like maybe I was taken over by AI aliens for a moment.
Oh no,
I'm sure you
put it past.
y'all they didn't even notice, but it's fine. They're like, oh, was there a glitch? No, there was no.
We
glitch.
don't stress. We don't stress anyway. We decided, look, if we can't record, we can't record. If it don't upload, it don't upload.
Hey,
we'll get it together eventually.
It got there eventually. You know, we did talk about the BET Awards, so that was last week, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? And as far as I'm concerned, it's all on YouTube. So is it not now? It's now.
It's now.
The thing that you need when you need it, it's gonna find you. Listen up. You know, we're here. The name of this podcast is Smart Girl Dumb World, and this is where me and Star come to just talk about what's going on in the world. In an open space where we can just kind of get our banter on, get our like millennial banter on. Don't necessarily have a rhyme or reason other than to maybe just be a voice, you know, in the pool of voices that is the internet.
In the dirty pool of voices. There's
the
so
dirty
many.
Pool.
So the shout out to the three of you that be watching this.
No, shouts out to the subscribers. Whoop whoop, you're a champ. You're a champ. You're a champ. You know what I'm saying? Like that's you a champ. You a champ.
Because if you subscribe, that means you really like us. Like you probably really, really mess with us in some kind of way.
And we like you too. You feel me? We like you too. Yeah, we don't even know the YouTube rules. Like we're just gonna find out as they go. Like
I guess so, as we get bigger, right?
We cuss a lot, and then they're like, you can't do that. Then I'll be like, oh, I guess we can't say F-bombs all that many times. Or you know, I don't know. We find out. I know people say things, they change the first letter and they do all that.
Right, like pew pew pew. You can't say that other word.
What are the lists? You know, George Carlin has a list of 7 dirty words. He has a joke like that, but they're all cuss words. And I'm like, dirty words? Because I say those all the time. Like, I don't know. You know, but I think at the top, I would just briefly, and I just want to like briefly, a moment of remembrance for Sonia Massey. That situation,
crazy. And I wish people would stop sharing the video. We've seen it a million times.
And I'm so happy. I have not seen the video yet, and I'm actually staying away. Like I'm checked out, y'all. Y'all know I've been checked out since the BET Awards, and I was checked out at the Kendrick and Drake beef, but I had to get pulled in because I'm a West Coast girl and I love rap. But it's like I had been feeling checked out at that time. Kendrick and Drake got me. I was like, oh, the world, people, conversation. That was great. But like ultimately, it's like we've reached a space of such negativity and such violence.
Oh no, hold on one second.
Okay, what happened? Okay, well, I'll just keep talking to you, fine subscriber. And we've reached a place of like such negativity and such violence in our world that I'm just like, what the F? Like, what WTF? Like, how can I be a peaceful person? I want to be a peaceful person, but I can't even call the police. I cannot call the police. And I understand that maybe that's always been the case, but I think we've just reached a new level of not being protected. And I've definitely had situations where I've needed the police and they've acted like I was the suspect. And so when I saw that Sonia Massey was
thanks for holding it down. We did all that yapping and freaking doorbell.
It's cool. We didn't hear any of it. I was talking to the subscribers. I used the moment as a moment to get in and be intimate with them. So I was talking about Sonia Massey, you know, and I was talking about how I have had like when I've needed the police and how they've come at me like I was the issue. And so it's like playing. It's like dealing with the police is a game of Russian roulette for us.
Oh yeah, and I told you my two situations, the Sean Bell
Oh,
connection,
which
and
rocked my world. That was the year that we graduated college.
yeah,
Like
remember that
living
I
in New
found
York.
out I was supposed to go to the wedding reception. So his what would have been his wife and my cousin are best friends to this day.
And you're
And
talking about
so
Sean Bell. Sean Bell in New York, Queens, New
in
York, was
Queens, New
gunned
York,
down by the police at his bachelor party.
at his bachelor party, and I
On the
found
yeah.
out on the paper. And yeah, like I just happened to go to the store and I saw it, and it I mean, to this day, no words. And then I told you my experience with HU Hampton University PD, a police officer, at an event for school. This was during our Did y'all have senior week at Howard? Like this celebratory events to celebrate like your last week at school, graduating and all that stuff.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Probably,
yeah,
probably.
Mm-hmm.
So we had senior week. This was a senior week party. I think it was like early in the week. If this was 20 years ago, so
yeah,
whatever. But I had a soda. I was holding a soda in an unauthorized place. We were at some club off campus, and apparently you weren't supposed to take drinks off the dance floor. It wasn't even an alcoholic drink. It was just freaking soda. And the way he wanted to tell me this was, so I was getting ready to actually go back to the dance floor, and I just feel someone grabbing my arm from behind. Now, I'm a Harlem, New York girl. I have been attacked from behind, so that was very triggering. I'm not thinking it might be a cop grabbing my arm. I'm just like, who the F is grabbing me? And I gave that energy, like, who is this? Like, get off of me. And he was like, you're not supposed to have that soda here. Like, was dead serious. So I was like, this is ridiculous. And then we're like going back and forth. He's trying to take it out of my hand. And I'm like, please don't try to take this out of my hand. Can I just dispose of it? He would have just let me walk a couple of feet. I could have thrown it out and then continued my way to the dance floor. He did not want to do that. Instead, it turned into him still grabbing me, and we're like tussling. And then he's like, I'm going to take you to jail over a soda. And like, tried to pin me down to the ground, and the only reason he got me down to the ground was because I finally just stopped pushing back, because it was just like, this is his life's mission to get me down to the ground. Like, he thought he could take me. I think he saw a woman and thought he could take me. I don't know who would look at me and think that I'm just some weak thing. But anyway, I'm like, we're tussling. Every one of my guy friends was like watching the whole, like, he ended up catching the tail end, and he just told me, he was like, Star, just don't fight it. And then was like, yo, what are you doing, to the guy? Now, this whole time that's happening, Norfolk police, an actual Norfolk policeman is watching, just letting it happen. One of the faculty at Hampton that knew me, that I've seen this man in actual serious situations talking police off the ledge when they were, like, there were times where like some of the frat boys and the football players got into actual fights. Like, I'm talking about like actually like throwing chairs, pulling out weapons. And like, this man is a faculty advisor. He's also a frat. And I've seen him negotiating with police. When it was me having this happen, he was just standing there watching. And to this day, that, like, just telling the story just infuriates me. And like, that made me almost cut off Hampton University, period. Yeah. Like, after that happened, and I remember when, like I said, it was my guy friend who kind of had a role in stopping, and another one of my girlfriends caught wind of it, and she tried to fight the cops. She was about it, but
we're entering the era, and we're in it, but we're now in the era of the overzealous security guard /
with a badge, because it'd be our own people. This was a black man, by the way.
Oh, so he had to prove himself.
And years later, he ended up killing himself and his wife in a murder-suicide thing. Turned out he was abusive to his wife and on drugs. And he was working as a cop at a college.
I mean, I guess the only answer is to get a gun.
And they did carry guns. They were allowed to be real.
Well, it's like, but then if I get a gun, if I use a gun as a black woman,
Oh, you mean us, right? Yeah. Like I wish I had like a stun gun or something. And
Yeah.
it's so crazy because like when the melee finally got he finally calmed down. I remember there was also so one of the other cops, one of the Norfolk police officers that was watching, also kind of was telling him to stand down.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, like he's trying to kick me out over like this stupid thing. All of a sudden, the guy's like, well, I don't have nothing to do with that. So you gotta go. Like if he wants you kicked
Yeah,
out, you gotta. This ain't even
that's
his
what I'm
venue.
saying. People be taking their jobs too seriously, and so I just be having to stay away from them. And I pray to God that I do not need the police or the ambulance or any of these things that people need all the time living in a city.
Because I saw that the video of Sonia Massey on the news, and they didn't. Thankfully, they didn't show the whole thing. There are some news programs that still have integrity, and so I mean, even the snippet that they showed was very disturbing. She sensed something in that man because she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," and that made him pull his gun out. That.
Wow.
And thankfully, they stopped the video. But "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus" is essentially why he shot her.
That man had a plan and a mission.
Mm-hmm. And she felt it.
Powerful last words. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. How long have we been needing to say that?
Mm-hmm.
A long time. And those words hit something in his spirit too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the scary part.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. I fucking hate it. And maybe YouTube will flag me for saying the F word. How am I supposed to talk about this dumbass world I live in and not say an F word?
It's
You feel
infuriating.
Me? You feel me? Like,
I'm wearing this shirt with all these freaking. So I love horror. I'm wearing this shirt with all these like classic monsters on it, and I'm like, I don't know how much I can actually love horror anymore because this stuff is feeling very real.
we live in a horror movie, and your T-shirt is now the names of Senate and Congress representatives. Like, these are senators, representatives, congressmen, Congressman Jacula.
Like, they're the literal Legion of Doom.
Senator Frankenstein. Okay.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
SCOTUS Invisible Man.
And then we got
okay. All right, y'all. Moving on. Since we're talking about the powers that be, obviously we got to talk about Kamala Harris, who is running for president, who, like, you know, okay, Biden dropped out. My thing, when I chuckled to myself, it was this, like, with Biden dropping out, the next question was, who's next? Who's next? Who's next? I was like, oh, so normally it would be his vice president.
Go. Who's next?
I was like, if this was another white man, it'd be like, oh, the vice president will run. Like, it would have no conversation. So then when it was like, we don't know, I was like, I just said to myself,
what do you mean you don't know? What do you think the vice president is for?
I said to myself, if they just, I said, well, Kamala's all they have. The reality is, like, that's all they have. They haven't groomed anybody. There are no stars in the Democratic
Party. Because I was like, it probably could have been Gavin Newsom, but I feel like he's still maybe a little too niche to California.
You can't have two California people run together.
Ah, that's right. I forgot she is from California. You're right. Yeah.
And Gavin Newsom, he wouldn't have done well with the rest of the country because he's California governor, and all they do is talk about how California is trash.
That's true. You got to, because then we're being held hostage by swing states that are very white and still probably more MAGA than anything, right? So you got to find somebody from, I guess, a Rust Belt type of place.
I need her to go find the whitest white man she can find. I need her to go find a man so pure and driven and white and pure and clean, pristine. I need her to find a man that is white as a fresh roll of toilet paper. Do you understand? I need her to find a man so
and
white.
He has to be scrappy.
But not too scrappy. He can't, because we already got the scrappy with JD Vance. That's the like pure scrap ball, right? Or that's his narrative.
Jesus, right here, Christ.
His narrative is scrappy. So we don't, it's like you just got to find somebody who is like so vanilla. And they're out there. There are vanilla people out there, mayonnaise people out there. And now's your time. I want to say, hey, whoever ends up being Kamala's running mate, I love it because you are very white and we need you right now to speak to your people. Let them know what we're trying to do is stop the fascist coup that's currently going on in the country.
Been underway for a long time, even before
Unfortunately,
January 6th.
we do need to come together. We understand how much you hate the hate of Black women. You don't even want to see one, let alone hear one talk and have to respect.
And
one.
then Kamala got the nerve to be biracial, so that's a
we can't even get into that.
Black woman and Asian.
Don't complicate it. Don't complicate it. So what we need is her on a platform so white that it just like kind of like bleaches her out. Like you forget that she's there, you know, and you're just like, look at all these white people. This is great. So what we need is just surround her in white light and also white people.
We really do, yes.
because baby, as much as I would love for her, I would love to say, choose the best candidate. I would love to say, choose the most qualified. I love my country and I love it enough to know.
But we know what the F it is.
Weak. Baby, I'm gonna need you to find like a white, like looking like a Poindexter. Like I need you to find Mr. Rogers, sis. I need you to find.
And he can't be too old. He can't be too old.
He gotta be
super young, but he can't be too old.
We need for VP,
under 70, please.
We need a young Mr. Rogers energy. Burgeoning Mr. Rogers, like Mr. Rogers just moved into the neighborhood.
I know some people were like,
know how much he's going to impact it yet.
Some people were saying Pete Buttigieg. He's definitely not a Mr. Rogers, but I'm like, he's queer. We can't have a queer and a Black woman.
He's not Mr. Rogers is because he's gay.
That's what I'm saying.
Stupid, but look at where we live. Of course, that's not how I think.
Do you know how many people's brains were short out? You got a Black woman and someone who's queer.
I want so badly for us to normalize in America that people are different. Like, how is it that we live in a multicultural society that is so anti-culture?
And it's weird because even JD Vance's wife is Indian, and she's a brown Indian.
Oh, honey,
did you see the tweets? I was about to say, did you see?
Well, here's my thing. God bless her if she becomes the woman in that position.
She's like just happy she got a white man. You know how.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I think it hits different for Indian people.
Are.
Well, it hits different for, and once again, it's big stereotype. It hits different, I think, for like somebody like who's maybe a couple generations into America. Like who's just like your goal is whiteness, your goal is like this level of American dream. She doesn't really care, but what she's going to have to deal with behind the scenes will be very unfortunate. And actually she saw that and
we don't know that he's not racist toward her. I've seen that too. I've known people to date interracially or be involved with people interracially and still experience racism. That doesn't absolve you just because your whatever loved one you want to insert is Black doesn't mean that you're not
right. Because there's probably there could be a fetish, there could be anything. You know, it's like a lot of the, if you're a politician, it's a
cognitive dissonance. It's a lot of things.
Weird reenactments of slave and servant type stuff.
Because as we've seen from the internet, people really do like that type of stuff. It's weird.
After step brother, step sister, it's just right,
right there.
It's that's why I'm. It's like obviously I'm spending this time focused on myself this summer, and I know we're going to talk about our personal projects a little bit later on, but I'm just here because I'm like the world is crazy. Kamala for president, sure. That's where I'm at with it. Sure, it could be. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand what's happening, so I'll vote and I pray, but I also understand that like America ultimately is going to get the president it deserves.
If people ain't learned now, I don't know if they ever will.
If your hatred or dislike or distaste or distrust for Black women existing in a world like Kamala, who reaches where she reaches, if you see that and it's up against somebody who's clearly like a fascist and like a staunch racist. And if you're like, I don't know, then like just vote for the racist. Like speak to your heart. It's like my thing is like just go for, all you guys that are big into that, be into it. Like let us know that you're
see how it works out.
Let us know that you're into
you tank the rest of us, when you screw the rest of us.
And then blame it on us for doing that.
Because we're on the Titanic right now.
Honey.
It sucks. I feel like we're on the we're on the dry end
We
for
are. We're
now.
looking down.
It's
We're
only
like,
a matter of time
is that
before
where
the
we're
boat
headed?
snaps in half.
Is that where we're headed? To the water down there? They got Wi-Fi down there? No. Icebergy, plungy death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so. But I will say this. One thing that I hate, there's a couple things that I hate about Black people in the political arena, period. It's like you get picked over, you get, nothing is being taken seriously. Everything gets, it's like you don't get the same, you get worse scrutiny, right? And then ultimately we're participating in a system that, I hate to say this, but I've lived long enough to know it's true, a system that's like fundamentally against us at its foundation. Part of me just, well, it's like I care too much about the world to not do anything, but there's so much of me that wants to do nothing and let it burn. But then there's also like, I'm like, I love where I live. I love my home. I love and actually love my fellow countrymen. You feel me? Like I love being in a room full of Americans and we talking and laughing, because that's how I live my life, because I live in America. You know what I mean? So it's like, but it's tough when you see such blatant disrespect and people going, I mean, maybe still that guy. A whole convicted felon, a whole rapist, a whole con man.
And it's so obvious. It's so
And
clear.
it's like, you're like, well,
and then the people that insult you by saying they did their research, the negative stuff, the bankrupting of businesses after business, including casinos, the racism, like, it's all there. The lawsuits.
When Amber Rose was at the RNC and she said she did her research, which I was like, okay, girl, who texted you? Like, you know what I mean? But I was like, oh, you didn't come across the Central Park 5? Because you've dated
that
so many
been
rappers.
Like at the top of the search, right?
You've dated so many rappers. You have a child, I believe, by a Black man,
and you can't even trust that, because people were like, I think she has both of her kids are by Black men, and I'm just like,
which means nothing.
That means, yeah, I'm like, half the time they might have the same views, but just haven't come out and said it. I don't know what Wiz Khalifa's beliefs are, but I'm just saying.
Well, your children about to walk through the world a little darker than you. And I don't know what you're going to say to them when these type of things come up. Maybe you won't talk to them about it at all. But I know that it's weird to, once again, Kanye's private parts have been linked to nothing but white supremacist women. You know what I'm saying? He told us that his D was racist. He said it. He's like, my dick is racist. And I'm like, oh my God, it actually is. Like, look at who he's putting it in women that don't like us, you know? And
they can bond over that. They can bond over that.
And it's like, isn't that good to know? Going forward, I feel like that's great to know. Like, it's just good to know, you know, and know what you're looking at, and know if it's for you or not, and know what are these beauty standards for? My booty and my cheeks and my lips on you. But you just catching Black D like it's COVID. And then you hate sisters, and now you down with Mac. Like, sis, I know when I'm looking at like,
and they're calling her a rapper. Girl, they don't even know you.
Girl, look. Well, apparently, if you put enough rapper ding dong in your dong, you're a rapper now. You got mixtape, you got verses, bars, videos, wardrobe.
That is hilarious. You know, and she was like in some right-wing rapper did a video. I am highly upset by the notion of hip hop being right-wing. Just thinking about the foundation of it and the roots of it, and where it originally came from and how it was born of institutional dysfunction, largely perpetuated by right-wing policies. And I'm like, here we have this right-wing rapper. I don't even know his name. She was in the video. It just feels like such a slap in the face. And I wish we had the type of rappers today that would call that out.
Yeah. Well, rap, the moment it became a tool for capitalism, right? And for me, it's like it became right-winged and white supremacist when fools was rhyming ninja with ninja, and it was ninja, 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 ninja. And I was like, this is feeling a little strange to me. Like, this is feeling a little OD. And I've always said to myself, man, if you played some of these rap songs that's all ninja'd out at Klan rallies, it would really sound like an attack. Like, it's always been in my mind. So when I see them gravitate toward hip hop, I'm like, low key, hip hop has been courting them since it
That's
became
true.
a capitalist
That's
tool.
true. And even
Not
like if you
supporting
look at the history of like how all these rappers love Donald Trump, even back then, even back in the early 90s after the
them.
Central Park Five,
Flashy.
which was, I mean, Central Park Five obviously was national news, but being in New York in the thick of it, like
Yeah.
there was no way nobody knew about the Central Park Five. I mean, I was a child and I knew about that. Everyone knew about the Central Park Five and about Donald Trump with the paying for the news spread, calling for them to be executed or whatever. And rappers were still hanging out with him and taking pictures with him, talking about that's their homie. So very disappointing.
He lives a very, very unique life. And like he said, he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, so good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And some people, America's the type of place where we're too busy admiring that fact than the fact that he's mucking stuff up.
He could literally summon the devil at a press conference, and like the people sitting there could see it happen with no special effects, no nothing, and then he'll be like, "I sold my soul to the devil," and the devil could appear and be like, "It's true," and people would still be like, "This is the most amazing thing ever. It was such a smart idea. We love you." They would love him even more. They would double down even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
unfortunately that's confirmation, but that's a real phenomenon too. Confirmation bias.
It's cult of personality.
Yeah, for sure.
And poor America acting also like they don't know. Ask anybody on the street, we can tell you exactly what it is. It's a coup. It's a cult. It's a hot ass mess. Mm-hmm. It happens in America from time to time. Rachel Maddow has a great podcast on when this happened
about that. I can't think of the name of the podcast, but you're talking about like when it was found out that the Congress members were like trying to, back in World War II, they were trying to
like there was like Hitler speech writers was just letting loose on the congressional floor, you know. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, well, we grew up hearing freedom ain't free. We got to fight for our right. They want to.
Was it Ultra? No, we got to say the name of that. Is it called Ultra or?
Yes, it's called Ultra.
Ultra. That's such a great presentation and a story that was never covered. It's not taught in schools, and all of it is very obvious if you've been following what's been happening. It's not a surprise, and it's like history is repeating itself, and it's going to keep repeating itself until people take action.
Right.
And I'm just waiting for them to discover the folks in Congress and in the government that were part of that January 6th. Well, maybe it won't happen, right? Because I could tell you
right now who was involved with the January 6th plot. Because when they were all going down in the bunker on January 6th, there was some congressmen and senators were scared, huddled down. Then there was a group of them in the middle of the floor, just talking as if they were at a cocktail party. And it was definitely Marjorie Taylor Greene. I believe that guy's name is Scalise. That fake eyes, the little mouth, and the weird head. And I remember looking when that was all happening, and like the gangster in me, the Inglewood girl in me,
you peeped it, right?
Yeah, like I was like,
and some of them had tour groups the day before.
Right.
Yeah, I was doing reconnaissance.
So my thing is like, America, if I'm here and I know this and I see this, and I'm a resource because I'm a citizen and we all see this, and you kind of still telling us to fuck off and we don't matter, and you know what I mean? It's like, we don't have to be here. This mystery is easily solved. But because you have whatever, I don't know, because you're dumb, because the world is dumb, and because the people, even the dumbest people, are smart enough to see that this is a coup, if they're able to, see, this is when I'd be like, get off the internet, give me my peace back. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because like ultimately, we need to vote. I believe that. I do. Even if they might take over election, who knows what they got in the tank, but you have to vote. You have to do that. You know, they might take your vote and burn it. Oh, well, you couldn't do anything about that, but you got to give them a vote to burn. So go feed the fire, you know, and then see what happens and cross your fingers for America. But that brings me to just my checkout, y'all. I'm checking out. But actually, before we check out, let's talk about the Olympics.
Yes, I'm excited. You know what? I was kind of blah about it. So as much as I can criticize this country when it's Olympic time, I'm like, yes, USA. Since I was a child, I have loved gymnastics, track and field, and the ice skating. And so this year, breakdancing has entered the Olympics. So that's something to look forward to. But of course, like Sha'Carri Richardson and like my daughter is into gymnastics. I didn't get to take gymnastics as a child because I chose dance. It had to be one or the other. But my daughter is into gymnastics, and she really is she's a Simone Biles fan. I mean, who's not a Simone Biles fan? And so I've decided I'm going to watch. I'm not going to watch everything, but I'll watch the specific events like track and field for Sha'Carri, gymnastics, of course. Jordan Childs is another athlete. She's on gym. She does like the bar and like the gymnastics dance routines. So I'm excited. I'm be watching, and we'll see how long my daughter's attention span can hold, because that's that's another topic.
Right. And you watch the Olympics and TikTok at the same time?
Exactly.
Is the Olympics on TikTok? Like, how is that?
Right. How is that going to work? Oh, and I'm excited about basketball. You know what's funny? I'm not a sports fan. No, I'm not a mainstream sports fan. Like, I could care less about basketball like any other time. Sometimes people will try to have like NBA specific conversations with me, and I'm like, who? What? Like, I don't know the players' names. Like, I'm not into it. I will watch basketball at the Olympics. I'm excited about that too. I think Steph Curry's on the team, LeBron James, and then so yeah, I'm excited about on the men and women's side. Like, because
that sounds good.
America does basketball really well. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that.
That sounds really good. I love the opening night ceremonies of the Olympics. I'm always really into that.
And this will come out after that because Friday is the opening night ceremony.
Exactly. Okay, so y'all, yes, what Starr said. but when we come back, I'll be talking about the Olympics, what we watching, like how we feel about how the Olympics is being in Paris and whatnot, and like how it's like being in Paris if you in Olympics. I don't know. Okay. So I love watching the opening ceremony, and then I just love just the random one like shot put.
That is random, and there's a couple of black folks that do that too.
There'll be somebody, you always see a thick black dude walking out, or black
like woof.
So like shot put always grabs me, you know, in terms of the Olympics. The gymnastics always amazing. Ice skating, woo. Sometimes with my anxiety, I'll be like, I don't know.
And, you know, we lived through the great ice skating wars.
We did.
Tanya Harding and Nancy.
I do low-key be watching, like, is it gonna happen again? No, nobody's that petty. And that's some 1990s.
Ice skating is Winter Olympics, which I think they just had. I didn't watch the Winter Olympics, but
yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna watch it. It's summertime, so I'm relaxing. So I feel like next week when I do kind of like a deep clean on my house, I'm gonna have the Olympics just playing in the back.
Yeah, it's like old school TV. Like
exactly. You know, it's like one of the last things on the earth that we've been doing that we do, and I needed to just not be too digital. Like I need to TikTok pop up and heart emojis on the screen. Like I just want to watch the Olympics.
Right.
Leave the emoji reactions and responses. Speaking of emoji reactions and responses, okay, so the blue screen that popped up for the CrowdStrike outage, I just want to say that I think that the blue screen is hilarious. And I think it's hilarious because they use the old school sad face emoji, which is my favorite emoji. Which is the colon and open parentheses.
Wow.
Which gives you a sad face. And you know what that taught me? That taught me that, you know what? Like all these little new cute yellow emojis that be popping up and doing their little cute work, when it really goes down, bro, you know who's going to have your back? The old school emoji.
You better brush up on your old school emoji.
Brush up on your old school emoji because that's where we're headed. Our digital linguistics is about to go back to 2003.
World War III is about to be digital AF.
You better get used to your colons and your semicolons so you can and
learn how to navigate without GPS. Learn how to follow a map, an old school map, printed map.
Yo, I was driving somewhere, you know, and I just looked at my GPS and I noticed that it also was telling me how fast I was driving.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I don't need you to know that nor record it. Like,
and they can tell you where the cops are.
Right. They're like, it was like 41, 42. I was like, sir, I have that information in front of me. I don't need you also to be clocking that. I'm a little mad at the digital world. Like, I feel like it's stupid. I feel like it's stupid to have, I feel like the crowd, what is it? CrowdStrike situation shows how dumb it is to have so many systems attached to one thing.
That
There's
aren't
this
really
one
being
glitch.
updated the way they should. Because there's no reason why these regular, I mean,
Well, it was an update that caused the glitch. And that's what I'm
oh, it
saying. It's
wasn't.
like,
Right, okay.
it was an update. So it's like the fact that there's no, oh, if this happens and this comes through and does it. Well, my thing first, okay, sir, you say it wasn't a cyber attack. Okay, sure. I'm not gonna say I believe you, but I'm gonna say that's what you said.
Right. Like I'm not gonna say I believe it. I'm not, I'm not co-signing.
Right. Like you definitely said it wasn't. I disagree, sir, with what you said. Like, I feel like if I was a terrorist on my like dark hat, dark shades, trench coat terrorist shit, like if I was like on that as a terrorist, bro, I would definitely be going for like the CrowdStrike network. You know what I mean? Because I'd be like, yo, son, if we get into the CrowdStrike, we knocking out planes, hospitals.
Like that Netflix movie, Leave the World Behind. It's very possible. It's very possible. I'm just like, next time, can y'all wipe out our debt, please?
Wipe out
like
the student loan debt,
any and all debt, student loan, credit card.
Push the button.
Bless our accounts with a couple 100,000.
That's what I'm saying. Accidentally put that million in my account. I won't tell you. I'd be like, who? Hacker? I don't know any hackers, sir. Like, I'm just a comedian. I don't know anybody that's in the digital space. Like, it's just me and the mic.
Right.
In a back alley trying to tell jokes before the cops shut us down. You know, that's
right.
That's where I'm at. Well, look, I think it's hilarious. Shouts out to the original emoji baby. Let you know things is all bad. Like things is all bad when it's a semicolon and an open paren. It's when you know it's all bad. It's so bad that that's all the computer has that can give you. He's like, I can't even give you a graphic. You feel me? He said, hold this text. All right. Well, look, look, y'all, me and Starr, like we have just kind of like, we were talking a little bit just about how we've really checked out from the negativity in the world just for our own mental health. Like we're definitely staying updated to things like, and we definitely care about the world we live in, but we know that the world we live in is too much. It's too much. And so what we're doing is prioritizing our mental health. You know, like I know for me, I'm off of work right now, so I kind of have a free summer. Feels nice. Oh my God. Do y'all know? Let me tell you, y'all. I have been sleeping. I have been drinking water and tea. And I've been going to the gym. And it has brought me so much peace. And I disengage with social media quite often because I'm like, yo, every time I open it up, it's like kind of something wild that don't match my energy, you know? And so I've been doing that. But then just because I'm a creative and because I love making things, you know, I'm working on some personal projects this summer that are really fun. I'm working on a little business, you guys. I am working on a little like low-key streetwear brand situation.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
Home goods based on my archival photographs of Lamar Park in 1998. I'm in a business incubator that meets actually today.
Okay.
Another day for y'all viewers, but you in the vibe with me. It's meeting today. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting really good responses to the business so far. So that's number one. And then number two, you know, shout out to all my girlies with gaps. You know, shout out to all my girlies. Shout out to all my photographers.
Mine that's like starting to form in old age because I didn't used to have this, but my teacher.
I'm coming back. Yeah. Because that's how you get one. And so my background is a photographer, and I think this is interesting. Actually, I didn't realize this, that I'm talking about 2 photography projects. And what I know as an artist is photography is like my meditation, and it's what brings me peace.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's interesting that those are the projects I ended up working on this summer. Because that's like, of course, I'm always doing stand-up and I'm writing, but I'm talking about the things that I'm doing to like ease my soul and make me feel good. So Octavia Butler, who, by the way, I did begin reading. I just was like, let me start reading Parable of the Sower again. So because I was like,
should start reading it
because
again.
all the dates are like now and like the next year. But I love Octavia Butler, and Octavia Butler is an LA girl.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think Viola Davis is in talks to turn Parable of the Sower into a movie.
Well, that would be great. That would be great. So Octavia Butler is a LA girl from Pasadena.
I didn't know she was from LA. Wow.
She loves the LA library, and I love the LA library, the main library downtown. When I was a kid and I would go to that library, oh my God, their book selection off the charts, y'all. I mean, there was every good art book, illustration book, and my imagination would just go crazy. So then I find out that Octavia Butler also loves the library and will go there all the time, and blah 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 blah. So in her will, she bequeathed a space in the LA Public Library, and it's called the Octavia Lab, and it allows free space. It's free space for you to do a podcast.
Oh, wow.
Recording studio. They have sewing machines. They have 3D printers. They have a photo studio. So this summer, I have been meeting up with just cool people I've been meeting around LA with gaps. And I've been taking their portrait and then doing a little interview with them, you know. And I'm just going to string together a little documentary, just like a little short, like a little 10, 15, like a little short joint for your little festivals and whatnot, you know, and then possibly doing a coffee table book as well. So.
Nice.
And it's keeping me positive. It's keeping
a
smile on my face, because no matter what's happening, that's what I'm going to be working on. And I have to have my mind like that, because I can't be a doomsday lady, because I've already been that.
I'm trying, man. And sometimes it's hard too. Like when you always got those people that all they do is doom scroll, and then they'll send you something stupid and crazy because they want a reaction out of you. They want you to commiserate with them. And I ain't got time for that. Like I can't. You got to be present in the real world. And same. I'm working on. So I have decided, I think I talked about this before in another episode briefly, but I've decided I'm going to try to get a book deal. I have a book out that's self-published, but I'm like, now let me try to do the traditional like book deal. And I think the way I'm going to do that is by writing a memoir. I've had so many crazy experiences. I know everyone probably thinks that life is like a movie. My life has definitely been like a movie. And so I'm going to write about some of these crazy experiences. I wrote what I may propose is my first chapter. And I'm a part of a group of women of color Black women and then other women of color who are all in different stages of their writing processes. And the group is led by a woman named Lori Tharps, she does this. Like she's written books for people. She knows how to get people book deals, all that. But they critiqued my first chapter. And then I got really good feedback, and actually helped me kind of figure out where I want to go with the other chapters. It'll probably be a book of essays. So that's, and then we were talking about the project that I'm going to be co-producing a movie called, it's a documentary, Roots, Rock, Reggae, and Souls with the S. So my Jamaican homegirls, I mean, like from there, right? And she and I were talking about how, like, I was telling her, like, growing up here, we used to have this joke about like, and I have Jamaican ancestry on my father's side, but I don't know that side of the family like that. So, but we were talking about, there was this joke that you didn't make it as an artist unless a Jamaican remade your song. And like in particular, if you went to like the mixtape spots, or maybe somebody drove past, whatever, you would hear that Jamaicans really have an affinity for like ballads. Like even Bob Marley, like before he switched over and created reggae, they were like remaking like Motown type songs and all that stuff. But in particular, Jamaicans have a really interesting fascination with like Celine Dion and Michael Bolton and ballads. And so it's called Soul's music. So she told me that was an actual genre. I didn't know it was a real genre with a name. So we're going to be going in on this together. She is, this is her baby, her vision. And then she brought me in, and we have a couple other co-producers who are going to help put this together. We are going to launch a Kickstarter. So we do need people to show up.
Look out for that. Faithful subscribers.
Yes, I think honestly, I think people funding projects is the future. Like
it is.
We got to get away from corporations. We have to.
Clearly.
So it's going to be a short doc. So we're going to try to, because we do want to get some of us over to Kingston, where she is from, And there are a couple of artists who want to interview. Unfortunately, some of the artists want money. That's the whole other thing. Like, ethically, you're not even really supposed to pay people for interviews, only in specific instances. And I say this as a journalist, but like things have changed so much that because like now a lot of bloggers will pay people for interviews, and so now that's kind of become an expectation. So, but there's an artist we're trying to get in particular. He's like the king of souls. His name is Sanchez, and I remember when I was a child hearing his music all the time.
Oh, you hear Sanchez?
But he, that is. I'm not saying he's asking for money, but like there's just some people that we've talked to. But the other thing is about souls that I will say is, even if you're not familiar with the genre, you are. Like, if you like hip hop, you've heard samples. There are Sanchez has been sampled in hip hop a lot. Or maybe not a lot. Exactly. There's even so, but yeah, like you've heard it. I have a couple of playlists too that I can if anyone is interested, I can share some souls playlists. Like, they're really good. They're really good. You don't even have to be a reggae fan to like them or to be familiar with them, because I promise
good old fashioned Jamaican crone. I love it. I mean, I'm part Jamaican as well. Never been to the place. Don't ask about my dad, but Jamaican blood is in me. And trust me, my Black American family can tell the difference. I can tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? It's two different cultures. I am telling people, I'm like, hello. It's, so, but I love Jamaican films. My favorite movie is Rockers.
Mine is Dancehall Queen.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful film.
Dancehall Queen and then Shatas.
I saw Dancehall Queen in the theaters twice.
What? Where were you, like 10?
I was like 10. I was 10. And I remember because a friend I was really close with in junior high, she was Jamaican, like from Jamaica. And she was like, and the film was at the festival out here, the Pan African Film Festival. So she's like, we have to go see this film. It's from Jamaica. It's we went to go see it. We were like, movie is so good. And I think they had one more showing in the festival. And we took our little 12 or 14-year-old selves and saw it again.
That is
we were also at that time
late 90s. It came out in the late 90s.
Yeah. We were also going to all the reggae parties too, because they were all ages. So I did. Bob Marley Festival, like I didn't understand Contact High. I just knew I'd be like, you were smoking.
Feeling a certain way, right?
I'm like, yeah, it's cool. No clue. I was like 16 years old. I was like, woo. Marijuana in the reggae function.
Random. You remember the dancehall era? Like after the 90s, it was like early 2000s, Sean Paul. That was a fun time.
It was the equivalent of what was happening. The equivalent, hip hop and reggae had their renaissances at the same time. Because I was inside both of them deeply. Please, what's the reggae gold 98? Best reggae gold ever. Everybody knows that.
Agreed.
Everybody knows that. That's where you had that Mr.
Diwali rhythm.
Come on, come on.
There was that one summer. This had to have been 2001, 2002, where like you knew every party you were going to go to, you was going to hear that Diwali rhythm. That's the Sean Paul Get Busy. Yeah,
that was my Inglewood Black American / Jamaican version of a reggae song. So you see, she missed something.
But yeah, for people that don't know, like all the and this is I don't want to give away ideas because I'm like, this is something that's probably worth like documenting. But like dancehall beats, they all have a name. So you got the Diwali rhythm. There's I think the one that I love rhythm. Like I'm not even going about to.
I know. There's one that I love, and I have a whole CD of it. It's a dub plate. When you have a song that's the same song but over different, like the same beat but a different person singing over it, it's a dub plate. And I forget the name. It's something about it. It's like a train. I forget the name, but the name of the song of the train, because that was driving me wild back when it first dropped, and the fact that it's still a classic, I'm because that was my jam back in the day. Still Come on and make me pop. So all that to say, so y'all get ready for Star Rock's documentary. Okay. She's gonna be hitting you. We're gonna probably do a whole episode talking about it. I
hope
do
so.
love,
We probably bring Jessica on. That's my homegirl. They go
let's
miss
bring Jessica on
Jessica to talk
and
about
interview
this.
her. I love this. I love
Mhm.
so just know with all the crazy heinous things that are going on in our dumb world with Black women, just know that your girl Star and Malaika Jules are making progress forward, living their best lives, going, making projects they love, staying joyful, keeping happiness and peace in their life, which is, I think, what we should all be valuing right now.
Mhm.
But a little extra, we're gonna put a little extra value on that for Black women right now because it's turned
Mhm.
up.
Mhm.
So yeah, with that being said, I'm Malika Jules. That's my girl Star Rock.
Whoop, whoop. I don't
And
know what
we
that was.
are Smart Girl Dumb World Podcast coming to you live on our YouTube. And you go like, share, and subscribe. I should ask you guys a question, but I don't have a question. My question is, how are you feeling in the world? Are you checking out? If you made it this far, wow, we love you. Let us know. Did you check out of the world? What are you doing to keep yourself positive during this time? You know what I'm saying? Let us know in the comments. Hit us with a like, share, subscribe, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Take a video, remix it, do something fun with it. I don't know. It's the internet. You feel me? But this is Smart Girl, Dumb World. I'm Malika Jules.
Star Rock. Peace.
And we out.